warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let me introduce myself. My name is Nurul Hidayah. I'm from class A, majoring in English education, and my student number is 0120-014. So here I will present the material for the final project in the literature course, namely a novel entitled The Grapes of Wrath, written by John Steinbeck. Biography: John Steinbeck. John Steinbeck, born February 27, 1902, at Salinas Valley, California, USA, and died December 20, 1968, at New York, USA. And he wrote notable works: The Grapes of Wrath, of Mice and Men, an Appreciation Nobel Prize in Literature 1962. John Steinbeck Life Story. John Emerson Steinbeck, Salinas, Cali, February 27, 1902, New York City, December 20, and 1968, was one of the most famous American writers of the 20th century who won the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1962. Steinbeck attended Stanford University intermittently between 1920 and 1926, but did not get a degree. He worked as a laboratory during writing, and his experience makes the depiction of labor life in his stories authentic. He spent most of his life in Monterey County, California. His first three novels, Cup of Gold, 1929, The Pastures of Heaven, 1932, and To a God Unknown, 1933, were not successful, but he rose to fame thanks to Tortilla Fleet, 1935, filmed 1942, which movingly told the story of Mexican Americans in dubious battle. 1936 is depicted the mass strike of farm workers. The novel Mice and Men, 1937. There are several novels written by John Steinbeck, including namely the first Tortilla Fleet, 1935, the second East of Eden, 1952, and the three Sweet Thursday, 1954. Next, Cup of Gold, 1929. Next, The Peer, 1947, and next, Burning Bright, 1950. Next, America and Americans, 1966. Next, The Long Valley, 1938. Next, The Wayward Bus, 1947. So, then I will explain a little about the contents of the novel The Grapes of Wrath. So, The Grapes of Wrath is a 1940 drama film directed by John Ford. It is based on the 1939 Pulitzer Prize-winning novel of the same name by John Steinbeck. The script was written by Nunali Johnson, and the executive producer was Derry F. Zenick. The film tells the story of the George family from Oklahoma who lost their garden during the Great Depression in the 1930s, became migrant workers, and ended up in California. The film chronicles their journey along the United States as they walk through California in search of jobs and opportunities for their family members. Next, there is a synopsis of this story. The Jude Clan introduced to the war in John Steinbeck's iconic novel is looking for a better life in California. After their drug-ridden farm is seized by the band, the family led by Jasper Son Tom Henry Fonda, loads up a truck and heads west. On the route, based by her ships, the Jones meet dozens of other families making the same trick and holding onto the same dream. Once in California, however, the Jones soon realize the promised land isn't quite what they hoped. Next, the novel focused on a poor farming family named the Jones who are evicted from their own home in Oklahoma due to drug economic hardship, thanks to the agricultural industry and bank forest closures. Almost without hope, George left for California along with thousands of other outcasts who were looking for jobs, land, dignity, and a future. Meanwhile, the life of John Steinbeck is the same. He is also from a family that lives in a very fertile small town. Several of his novels have backgrounds that are closely related to his daily life on the farm at that time. After high school, he attended Stanford University in Palo Alto, where he remained for 5 years until 1925 and left campus without a degree. He traveled to New York and took a job while trying to. So the next analysis character. The first is Tom Judge, the novel's main character and second John Stones. As the novel opens, he is returning to his family after his parole from the MC Allister State Penitentiary. Among the novel's characters, Tom shows the most growth in his realization of the concept of human unity and love. The second is Jim Casey, a former preacher, concerned with his controversial belief about what is sinful and what is holy. He was renouncing his calling. Traveling to California with the Judge, he plans to listen to the people and help them. Casey is the spokesman for the author's main theories, including the multi-faith themes of love and stranger unity. Next, Margaret, wife and mother. Next, Paget, patriarch of the Judge clan. Next, Rose of Sharon, eldest daughter. Next, grandma and grandpa, the couple who first began farming on the land the pa has lost. Next, Noah Judge, the oldest Judge's son. Noah is slow-moving and emotionally distant, perhaps the result of an unintentional injury caused by during nose beer. So, message history of the Grapes of Wrath is in some ways similar to the message in Upton Sinclair's The Jungle. About the book, Sinclair famous wrote, "I aimed for the public's heart and accidentally hit the stomach." And like Sinclair, Steinbeck aimed to improve the lot of works, but the end result for Sinclair was to bring about sweeping change in the food industry, while Steinbeck is more geared towards change that they have occurred before. Next analysis story, The Grapes of Wrath, the best-known novel by John Steinbeck, published in 1939. It evokes the harshness of the Great Depression and our sympathy for the struggle of migrant workers. The book comes to be regarded as an American classic. The narrative, which traces the migration of an Oklahoma Dust Bowl family to California and their subsequent hardship, is interpreted with prose from intercludes, then explain the wider circumstances of the war with which the protagonist contend. Tom Judd, newly released from prison after serving a sentence for by Jim Jesse, a former pitcher. This message history of the Grapes of Wrath. The message of the Grapes of Wrath is in some way similar to the message in Upton Sinclair's The Jungle. About the book Sinclair family wrote, I aimed for the published here and accidentally hit the stomach, and like Sinclair, Steinbeck aimed to improve the lot of words, but the end result for Sinclair was to bring about sweeping change in the food industry, while Steinbeck is more generous towards change than the source before.